Hey, it's Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica and Epic Water Filters here today to talk to you about core. You know me, no matter what the question, for me, the answer is core. We're going to be getting to the core of the matter today in two ways. One, we're going to be going over the movements that are involved in my world famous ab challenge. Think you could do it? Not many people can. I'm going to put a link in the description below. But also, before I start, I do want to talk to you about the number one health hack. And I mean this literally, the number one health hack on earth. And that means whether it's having a better diet, doing more exercise, practicing more yoga. Spoiler alert, it's actually not practicing more yoga. The number one health hack for internal and external health is pure, clean drinking water, and as much of it as you can get into your body. I mean this literally. If I could take one single health hack onto a deserted island with me, this is what it would be. Maybe ultra-purified water using my Epic filter. Why do I like the Epic? Because it's superior filtration and it really has this I know this is super technical, this super sub-micron carbon block filter, that's there, that removes up to 99% of harmful contaminants. So whether you want to get out the fluoride, the lead, the PFAS, the microplastics, the chlorine, the heavy metals, you guys have all heard about this. You want safe drinking water, you need a better filter. Oh, by the way, they're made in the USA, come with a lifetime guarantee. Let's talk about core. Okay, so in my ab challenge, there are essentially 3 movements that go with it, okay? Now, I'm gonna be going over the movements so that when you do it, it makes it a lot easier. And the first one is very simple. They're just bicycles, meaning you bend one knee and bring the opposite elbow to the opposite knee, right? This is just a very fluid motion. Let me tell you, the mistakes that people make are, first of all, they take their legs really high, okay? Just know that the higher your legs are, the easier it is. So, I mean, if you want easy, go high. But that's not the point of the ab challenge, is it? The other thing is that people don't straighten their legs. They do something like this. So you really want to go all out, okay? So that's movement number 1. I call them the easies or the normals. And to be honest, if you want to hack your core, you should be able to do a few hundred of those, knock those out without too much strain. As you know, my specialty is handstands. Handstands require a lot of core, and the more that you can get into this and master that simple movement, the better. Okay, number 2. So number 2 is similar, but instead of just doing a fluid motion like this, and by the way, I call these the hards for a reason. So in the hards, it's both legs out and then you twist. And then it's both legs out and then you twist. And this also provides, because it's a slower and more controlled movement, and again, notice my legs go all the way out and very low to the floor, is that it gives you the opportunity to get water. You always want to be prepared. When you're moving in the normals, there's no time at all. But when you're doing the hards, then it's a perfect time to get your Epic water filter. And it's cool because it tells you as you're using water when you've used up the filters after 150 gallons. Okay, so those are the hards. And by the way, 150 gallons, that's a lot of water. That's a lot of filtration in this little filter. I don't know about you, but I get really annoyed when I have to change filters. I don't know why. It's not like it's that big of a deal. You unscrew it, pop it out, pop it in. But to know that I could drink 150 gallons of water before I have to change one, for me, That's super cool. Okay, let's get into movement number 3. Now, these are leg lifts, okay? Now, when you do the leg lift, one thing I want you to keep in mind is that you don't want to arch your spine up in your lumbar, because A, it's going to create back problems, and B, it's going to take the work out of your core. So when you do these in particular, because when you're doing the easies and the hards, the low back will naturally be down because you're going in a crunching action, otherwise known as spinal flexion, okay? In the leg lifts, it's a little bit harder. So how do we make sure that we keep the low back on the floor? One way is try to lift your shoulders off the floor when we do this next movement so that your spine is in flexion, which will press your low back to the floor and keep it in the core. So here's movement number 3. In movement number 3, you can interlace your hands to the outside. One leg goes up. So you see my legs are in like an L-shaped position. This bottom leg, straight and low to the floor. And my shoulder is pretty high, so my core is pressing down. There's no space here underneath my low back. In the leg lifts, I do a number on the same leg. So we're not going to turn at first. It's just going to be up and down like this, not too fast, not too slow. And because of the position, it's a great opportunity to get some water in that cup so you're ready when it's time for the big drink. When after you finish those, of course, we're going to do it to the left. So here's the thing. Whenever we're practicing yoga, you'll see in all my videos, particularly if you're on my Vimeo channel where I have the full-length videos, I always say, don't interlace your hands. Why? Because when you interlace your hands, it takes the work out of your muscles, right? Because now I'm holding it together instead of pressing it together. Do you know where I'm going with this? If you want to intensify the leg lifts, instead of interlacing, don't. Okay, so in my leg lift, I would actually sort of like clap my hands together and take it that way. Aha. So when I do this, now I have to actually use the torsion of my spine to twist to the side to get water. Oh, by the way, not only is this totally eco-friendly, recyclable, including the filters, but I do have to do a disclaimer. My amazing water stand is sold separately. Yeah, those are my yoga blocks. Okay, because it's fully recyclable, obviously it's much more environmentally friendly. Now, there's really only one more movement in my ab challenge. Now you're gonna say, oh, well, it's just 4 movements. That makes it really easy. Well, you don't know how many reps of each movement or the order that they're presented in. Take my word for it. Most people don't make it through the first time, but you might, particularly if you drink your epic water. Okay, last movement. Same thing as before. We're gonna have the low back down and the core engaged, shoulders off the floor. And I take my hands, and you could interlace or not if you want to make it more intense. And so you could either karate chop like this, or you could pound like this, or sometimes you could shoot like this. Okay? Honestly, those are all the movements, okay? So we've got normals. And by the way, if you decide that you just want to combine these in any combination that works for you, of course you can do that. You don't have to do my ab challenge, but I encourage it. Number 2, hards. Remember, those are both legs out, twist, get some water, both legs out, twist. Making sure, and by the way, guys, water. and twist. When you're watching me, it's very easy to go like, okay, yeah, legs are straight. Take my word for it that most people not only don't straighten their legs, they don't even come close to straightening their legs, and they think their legs are straight. Like I'll literally, you'll see in some of my videos, I'll say something like, straighten your legs, and they'll be like, I am straight. I'm like, you're not straight. So if you're not sure if your legs are straight, there are two ways you could do it. One is like, actually look, is my leg straight? Yes. Because a lot of times people are just sort of all over the place. They're not really paying, or they're moving too fast to know. The second one is if you sort of feel that click. Now, we talk about not locking joints in yoga. However, locking joints is really only a problem if you've got pressure on said joint. If it's in the air, it's okay. So you could lock it for that moment to make sure that everything is in place. Okay, so my YouTube channel, guys, as you know, as are all YouTube channels, is basically like a public service, right? This is just free content that I give to you. You know why? Because as yoga people, we always need to give back. You know that, right? Seva, service. And by the way, Epic water filters, like very much is like in that yoga space of doing community and environmental support. They do partnerships with like nonprofits, local initiatives like cleaning up creeks or sponsoring youth sports. Come on, guys, who doesn't want to support a company that does that? And also this water bottle, so cool. Be a good person. I'm sure you guys know about the water experiments, about that if you attach good thoughts to water, that the crystals came out cleaner and more beautiful and that it was healthier water. Have you guys ever seen those studies? Well, guess what? A bottle like this accomplishes that. All of this is independently tested across the globe. In both field and laboratory tests to make sure that the water is NSF, ANSI, drinking water standard compatible, and that it meets or exceeds all the standards that you want. Once I've got my water, if you want the advanced hydration solution, I probably should have tried this before I mentioned it, but you can always do this. How? In Ashtavakrasana. Always. Okay, so I have to have more water in here for this to work, but you get the idea? Oh, that's so dramatic. This is Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California for Epic water filtration. And by the way, yes, of course, there's a coupon code. Coupon Shana15, you get 15% off all your Epic water filtration purchases. And Shana is spelled S-H-A-N-A, the number 15, 1-5. Code in the description below. Get your water filters, drink your water, and drink a lot of it. And you know what else? Stay healthy, my friends. This is Shana Meyerson getting to the core of the matter with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Have an awesome day.